Hello Stampers, this is super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA. Thank you for purchasing my Starburst Kits in the mail for April 2023. This is the tips and tricks and assembly video to help you assemble your kits. So let's get started. Your kit will come in a white envelope. It'll have the 2 kits in it in cello bags. So the cello bags you can reuse to store your idea file. They're also mailable if your post office allows that. I generally just store my idea file cards in it. You'll also in your kit would have been the 4x6 pieces of the silver or rose gold foil. Now the rose gold foil comes 2 sheets and 3 different shininesses in the package. So your foil may be different than what I show, or you might not be able to detect it on the video. And then you would have received a piece of 2 pieces of the pattern paper, maybe sometimes 3, like my kit's got some scraps, and I tend to use just the scraps for the assembly videos. But it will be enough to make your Starburst card. So Abigail Rose and then Tea Boutique cards. And also I threw in a Wash and Beauty. So if you picked all florals, you wouldn't have gotten any of the teapot or teacups. So let's just get started. Let's just do this one first. So the basic gray one. Take your supplies out and see what you got. Bring back the sample card in. Oh, and I use the Lovely and Lasting stamp set to complete my sentiments on the card fronts. So for the basic gray one, I chose the Happy Birthday along with the basic gray ink pad. And sample card is right here. Okay, now let's look at what you got in your kit. Bottom piece is for the inside, just the plain white inside. So I tend to use my pieces as I come across them. Then I have less pieces to worry about. So inside. And then you would have gotten this piece of smaller pattern paper. It measures 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 inches. Various patterns. I'm going to have this pattern up. And the reason why I'm placing the Tulip Early Espresso pattern up is because it's got an orientation that is vertical. So I'm going to actually assemble my card vertically and not horizontally. All right, our next layer is going to be this backer sheet. Now, you'll have various amounts of printing on your sheet because these are the backer sheets that come on our Designer Series paper. They are slightly thicker and nice and durable, so it's perfect for these Starburst patterns. I'm going to set this aside. This stuff is going to be set aside. You know what? I'm going to stamp my sentiment and get that out of the way. So basic gray. Happy Birthday stamp from the Lovely and Lasting stamp set. Fits perfectly in that 1 3/8 inch circle punch. Okay, that's a little bit wet. It'll dry rather quickly, but I don't want to smear it, so I'm just going to put some adhesive on the punch. And this punch coordinates with the stamp set. I always forget this name. And my supply list is across the room. Lasting Label, I think it's called. Yes, it's the Lasting Label punch. It's part of the bundle, includes a stamp set and the punch. Use the bundle item number to get 10% off the individual stamp set and punch item numbers. Okay, so back to our card. We got that. We got 2 little brushed brass butterflies. Large one and a small one. Put one right there. Oh, you know what? I was going to orientate my card this way. I was going to orientate my card vertically and not horizontally, just to show you a different look. Plus, if you've got this tulip pattern, then you have an idea of how it will look. there. Okay. All right, those are all the pieces that I have. Now, you would have gotten 5.5 inches of this natural finish ribbon. I've already cut mine down to size. So it is, I cut it down to about 3.5 inches. So when I'm ready to assemble that, it's right there. Now we need to start cutting our Starburst patterns. And the measurements and dimensions are in that emailed PDF file that I gave to you. So don't think you need to remember all of this. You can go back to that PDF file and get all these dimensions. But you're going to need 4.25 by 1.5 inches of pattern paper. So these two pieces are already measuring 4.25 by 3. And you most likely got a piece of 4.25 by 6. You just have to cut it off. So this is 4.25, cut it to 3 and 1.5. Clear as mud. Did I say that right? This is 4.25, and so I need to cut it at 1.5. Oop, that's the score. Okay, now let me pull this in here so you can see what I did. You're going to cut your piece into 4 equal pieces. Is what I essentially did. And then you cut them from corner to corner. And it doesn't matter really what corner you do. I would probably do them all the same corner. And one little tip, this technique is great for using up your scraps, but you want to look for scraps that don't have any direction to it. Otherwise, it will drive you crazy trying to get the directions to match up. And I would cut it corner to corner in the same direction. So from the bottom left to the upper right is what I'm doing. So I did it on all 4 pieces. Okay, now the rose gold piece measures 4.25 by 6. So if you just cut it off at 1.5, and I am just going to do the whole piece because between the 2 cards I will use the whole piece. There we go. Okay, now, oh, I need to cut them too. Cut them in the triangles. Oops. I keep on moving it with my fingers when I get the corner to corner into your cutting track. There. All right, so 2 of them I'm going to set aside for the second card. 2 of the rectangles. 2 of the rectangles we'll keep right here for this card. Okay, we're going to bring this back in. Now, a trick to get this, if you like to have everything matchy-matchy and or perfectly aligned, mark it at 2.5 on top and bottom. And then you pull in your pieces and start and decide how you want them layered. So I like the black and white flowers up. So I'm going to start with that in the longer edge there, or the right corner. I'm going to line it up with the top of my pattern paper. Right now I'm not so concerned about how everything is lining up. Take the next one, and your pattern paper needs to cover that white. So it's good to use a white or a lighter color so you can see where you need to cover up. And then you just come along and do every other. Making sure you cover the white at the top and then that at the bottom. And then one over here. Now, since I've already done a sample, I've got some scraps. Might be able to use that here. And then we'll need a black and white scrap. We can probably cover that up there. So you can see that I've given you more pattern paper than what you'll actually use on your card. So you can make your own cards with your own backer sheets in your cardstock, or make an additional card and with the rose gold too. All right, so get your pattern, smooth everything away. I recommend the Tombow liquid glue because you can move things where you need it. And with that, we're going to line it up with our mark at that 2.5 and lay it down. And I'm going to pick this up and try not to get the glue on my hands. Kind of move that down. You don't have to move it down because we will turn this over and cut anything off. Okay, now the next one, got to make sure we cover the corner. And cover the bottom. Okay, and I got a little bit of glue there. Oh, darn it. I may have to put something over there. That ruins the foil, so don't do what I do. Try not to get glue on your foil. Okay, so I'm covering up the top so it's overhanging. And the next one. Okay, and then another one. And I'm just butting up the up to the edge end of the designer series paper. So this is one flat piece. There's no overlap. And then this one over here. Okay, and I would recommend getting a long scissors. Stampin' Up! Doesn't have a long bladed scissors currently in the catalog, so this is just my crafting one. You just flip it over and you cut all those ends off. Just run your scissors along the DSP backer sheet. So then you have all those little scraps that you can use to cover your corner. And usually there's enough scrap left that you don't have to use a, here we go, another big piece of your triangle. There's that, and then we need a one right there. Okay, pretty, right? Okay, now flip that over, cut it off. And there you've got a gorgeous Starburst pattern. Now I have got glue, the messiest crafter today. Normally I don't get glue on my hands. So the second card, I think I might use my tape runner. I didn't get glue on my hands when I made my sample, so I'm not sure what the story is today, but all right, this gets attached right there. So flip that over. And you can see that even though we use the backer sheet and some of you will have various print on there, you're covering the full thing up and you're actually flipping it over again and covering it up, placing it down. Okay, there's that one. And then we are doing vertical. And you don't have to do vertical. I just did that because that tulip pattern was vertical, but you can't even tell that that is a vertical pattern. So do whichever way you'd like. I thought I would just show another way. And then putting your focal point where all the starbursts meet is the goal here. I might move this up a little bit. And then that just goes like there. I put adhesive there. I wanted the ribbon over a little bit more, but you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it. How about like that? Should we do something like that? Yeah, let's go for it. Can be creative. Here we go. So again, watch your gluey fingers. I might stop and wash them off so you don't get glue on the foil there. Okay, so here's my sample card and here's the one with the foil. Now, if you don't like the foil or you want to change your or save your foil paper to for some other project, you're gonna have to go ahead and use your additional pattern papers. But like I said, if you want to do foil designer series paper, you've got enough to make another Starburst pattern for another card. Okay, all right, so there's that one. Let me clean my fingers off and clean this off, and I'll be back with the second card. All right, here's our second card. And I want to explain your designer series paper. So the Tea Boutique pattern pack is 6x6. Not very conducive to the design that we're doing. Creates a lot of scrap for me. But there are 4 sheets each of 12 double-sided patterns in the pack. That's why you get assorted patterns, and that's why for all my kits in the mail, I have to say that you might not get the patterns that I show you in the sample or the promo video, but you'll get a pattern that is included in the pack. So if you didn't get the teacup or teapots, you would have gotten the florals in your kit instead. So I hope you are okay with the patterns that you received in your kit. All the patterns are certainly lovely and luscious on their own. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I do use scrap. So these were the scraps that were generated after I cut off your pieces. So let's just take care of that right now. And I kind of want to show you that you can use any kind of scrap in this card too. So I have already cut them to size 1.5 to 4.5, 4¼ inches. You would have probably most likely gotten a 6 by 4¼ piece in your kit. So go ahead and stop the video and cut them down to your triangles. I just have them cut to the smaller 4 pieces to start with. And then I'm going to pull in my gold foil that I already cut, or rose gold foil. You will have a full rose gold foil to mess with as well. So I give you 2 pieces of that rose gold foil. Okay, get out of the way. All right, my business card is in there. Keep that if you'd like to place future product orders from me. I certainly appreciate if you place Stampin' Up! Product orders with me. I do reward you with PDF idea files that are emailed to you for placing orders using host codes. right, and then my other contact information is on there too if you have a question about your kit or can't find the kits on my blog. Okay, inside is that basic white again, so let's attach that. One less piece to deal with. And the next layer is going to be that 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 petal pink mat. So a mat behind the Starburst just kind of calms the eye a little bit. So these types of cards quilters love these cards. But you need some solid in your design as well. I'm going to use my bone folder and press that down so it doesn't pop up on me while we're assembling here. Okay, I'm gonna flip that out. Oh, these little yellow flowers, you use it on your card if they coordinate with your colors. Otherwise, set them aside and use them on a different project. It's kind of some bonus supplies. Let's do the stamping first. I did Cheers, and I gave you a larger piece than what fits on the tag. This is the essential tag punch, so cut it down or leave it completely the size it is. I think I will do that on your tag. Okay, there's that and that. Oh, ribbon. So I gave you 12 inches of ribbon. I already have one pre-tied, a bow. So I thought about tying your bows for you, and I'll show you how I tie a bow. I just tie them off the roll, but of course we can't do that when I do the kits in the mail. I do one loop and one loop here. And I generally tie all my bows right off the roll so I don't waste any of the ribbon. Tuck it through and pull it. Then I like my tails to have a longer tail on the outside and a shorter tail on the inside. Just like that. So you should have more ribbon than what you need to create your bow. Okay, now, first step would be to take your pattern or the Designer Series paper backer sheet, mark it at 2 1/2 at the top and the bottom, if you're concerned about having things straight. And then decide if you want, so here are the 2 samples I did. I did one with rose gold, one with pattern paper. I think I'm going to do the rose gold again so you get an idea of what that looks like. Although I really like that. I love purple. Let's do, now here's where the directional patterns might bother you. And it is a good exercise in that. Directional patterns, they're all going to go for me to the side, and I am not going to care. If you don't like the teapots, you've also got that side that could be out. Well, that's kind of blah blah, kind of not blah, but monotone in pattern, not a lot of vibrant pattern. So we're going to do this one, this one. I'm going to change up my colors here. That one. This one, purple, the fuchsia, rose gold, and then the little corners we can get with probably the scraps. So got extras there. And this time I am going to use my tape runner. I'm going to put the tape as close as I can to the edge because we need that corner covered, and then one through the center, and that should be good. All right, I'm going to pick this up because now with the sticky tape, it's a little harder to pull that up or push it into place. Holding my index finger against the top of the pattern or the top of the white backer sheet and forcing that pattern paper up to it, and lining up from top to bottom the marks I put there. The next one, cover the point, snuggle it up to the edge of that pattern paper, and then just pull it down and snuggle in, and then press down. Same with this one. You want to cover the backer sheet white. Okay, and then again, turn that around. Sliding it up, make sure I cover all that white up. Just nestling it. Oh, I didn't cover the white up. Let's see if I can pull that off without destroying the foil. Put that down on the table. Okay, and then this one here. So I'd probably do this up in the air, especially with the dry tape runner on there. But if I do it up in the air like this, you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So cover the back or up, the white backer up, nestle it into the designer series paper, and now we can flip this over. And cover the corners. Oh, that one's a little damaged. I want to use that. I got a nice pretty foil here. I don't want to mess it up with something that's kind of gotten some indents. And then, there we go. This one can go right there. And flip it over, cut those off. Okay, and those go in the scrap bucket or to the side. As you're making more, you might get, might need the little corners there. Now this just goes over the panel pink. I'm going to do 3 runners because it's gotten a little heavy with the backer sheet and the foil paper. Okay, flip that over and press down because I don't want to get my fingerprints on that foil. And then we got our little focal point here of that essentials tag. And the red ribbon. You would have gotten assorted coordinating embellishments in your kit. So I've got these 3 sequins here, which are a little smaller than the sample. And you would have gotten more embellishments than what I use on my samples. So you use them however you'd like. And that's it. That's it for my kits in the mail. Again, look in your email for that PDF. It'll give you the measurements and then the additional, I think there's 17 additional samples in that PDF for you to enjoy and get creative and think about how you're going to use all of your designer series paper up. So I hope you enjoyed these kits in the mail. They change every month. So go to my blog at superawesomestamper.com and click on Kits in the Mail, and you'll see my current offerings. All right, have a great day, and we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.